it's Amanda Taro.
And I'm Anita,
And we are
Chelsea-Michelle.
And if you've not read it already, you can get Hours We Regret, which is our prequel novella. You can get it for free, and we'll have a link down below where you can download it. And today I'm going to let Anita do most of the talking because she's on a subject that she's pretty passionate about.
Pretty much. All right, well, before we get started, we're actually talking about something going on in Hours We Regret. This is something, a bit of a spoiler. So if you haven't read it yet, you might want to turn this off, follow the link, grab a copy, read it, take you a couple hours, then come back. But, all right, so one of the questions that we wanted to answer from our readers is why did we include the storyline of Michelle breaking up with Kyle in this book? So that's something that I do hear a lot in the reviews or in the reader comments, that the romance in it took a turn they weren't expecting because the couple didn't get together. They actually were an existing couple, dated for about a year and a half, and then broke up. And so the question is, why did you do this thing? So the answer actually goes back to the idea of the prequel itself. So when we were creating the story world for the Watson twins, she said, and this trend kind of happens a lot, she said, I think we need a cop character that's like their best friend. And I said, I think Michelle dated him. I think there's a background there. And so we weren't intending exactly to do a novella right away, a prequel.
No.
And so we were talking about the storyline itself and kind of the dynamic being Chelsea-Michelle, their cop friend, who is Michelle's ex-boyfriend. And so just kind of drawing off of the classic, your exes, but you're possibly still in love with each other and you're not sure how that's going to pan out yet. That all great sitcoms are built upon. And I actually pull a lot of, I'll go ahead and tell you, Ross and Rachel inspired quite a bit. You might recognize them from Friends. That doesn't mean you know anything about what's happening in their life, but a lot of that chemistry between the Ross and Rachel connection, it exists between Michelle and Kyle. So we were talking about, you know, the story world, and again, I being a romance author, a romance fanatic, I wanted a really good, basically a romance mystery. So Michelle's entire love life is its own mystery. And you'll see that when you're doing the polls at the end of our stories, you'll find those, you know, that's an ongoing question. Do you think they're going to get back together? And we ask that repeatedly because you might change your mind from book to book. You might have a different gut feeling, a different thought behind it. But for me, I wanted a love story that you didn't get right away. And I wanted it, you know, a bit complex and slightly dramatic.
She brings the drama to the table.
I do, joyfully do I. So we were doing, we were planning this, and I was already pulling together what their relationship looks like, and then she says, we need to do a free story, do a novella, and we should do it set before the story, before book one. And so we were talking about possibly doing it while they were in college, and that changed. And one of the reasons that changed was because while we were creating what happened, I thought, hey, this is the perfect opportunity to share the Michelle Kyle story. And actually that is part of the thing. And so we'll talk more about some of what went into the plot, but part of that was deciding kind of what instigated certain events. And so for Michelle, breaking up with Kyle instigated her to leave for a little while. And so she does. And anyways, yeah, so one of the questions about why the story is like about 2 years before book one, that actually rests in the Michelle and Kyle relationship. We felt like if they were in college and it's been about 10 years, then these two really need to have their act together by now. And so to make that a little bit more believable that they're still in that will they, won't they, they're in love, not in love, together, not together situation that you will find, I'm letting you know up front. For those who are fans of romance and the storyline, you're gonna love it. You are gonna
And
love
for
it.
those who don't, there's also Chelsea, who's a very stick in the mud, stable,
Yeah.
doesn't go after all the guys she likes type of personality.
Yeah. Michelle is not that person.
So yeah, we
Yeah.
feel like the romance balances out for
Mhm.
both types of readers.
Right. And something to remember too, you know, even if you're not a romance crazy person like myself and some others, this in and of itself becomes its own mystery thread.
Mhm.
You know, will they get back together? And even for Chelsea, who who do these twins end up with in the end? And so, but we weren't trying to break hearts when we broke them up. We were just trying to kind of give you, look at that face. Look at that face. I can see you.
We weren't trying to break hearts.
Okay, all right. So maybe
I hate
did.
chapter 3.
Maybe I did a little bit feel like I needed. She would say things. I don't. What was it you would say to me? And I was like, what was it you said? Every time you said something, I would literally go back, revise those chapters, and make it hurt a little bit more. Like, yes, there is so much emotion in that storyline, and it comes from
The authors fighting behind the scenes.
it really, really does. No joke. There was something she kept saying. Oh, she kept whining. Oh, I love Kyle. And I was like, yes, okay. And I would add a little bit more oomph behind the pain of their breakup. And she's like, yeah,
Yep.
that's how it happened. And I don't have any regrets. Ours we regret. That was not. I regret being in a ditch. I don't regret nothing else. I regret nothing else. No, it is. It's honestly, it's one of my favorite threads. Obviously, as a romance writer, it is one of my favorite threads. It is also a very developed thread already. So buckle up. For those of you who hate the Michelle Kyle thread, I'm sorry for you. Sorry about your luck.
You've got Chelsea to agree with you, because Chelsea gets fed up with them sometimes.
Yeah, she
And
does.
so hopefully Chelsea will be your voice if that's you.
Yeah, and Chelsea does. Chelsea gives her opinion. Michelle doesn't care. Michelle does what Michelle does. But they are, at the heart of it, they are really great friends, and they do have some things that they need to figure out.
Yeah.
They really do. And we'll talk more about some of the other dynamics, such as character growth and such. But all of these things kind of blend back in together. But back to our question, why the Michelle and Kyle breakup? That was why.
Right when you meet them. Like, you barely meet them.
Yeah. We wanted to give Michelle a reason to run. And that was it.
And we had already, by book 1, she was not dating Kyle.
Yeah. That was definitely already established. Again, as soon as she said we need a cop friend, I was like, he's an ex. She's like, I have a feeling they know a cop. I was like, I have a feeling.
One of them dated a cop.
Yeah. And they're still possibly dating a cop. No, they're great together. I love their chemistry. Even in this, they are, and you see that at the end. They do care for each other very much. But they have decisions to make about their life.
And I don't want to say I even like the Chelsea Kyle connection. They're that brother sister bonds there, and he is the brother she would have chosen.
Yeah.
But her sister
And she
didn't.
likes to bring that up in every single, y'all have barely read anything. No, in every single book. Guys, we've already started book 2, okay? In every book. I wish he was my brother-in-law. And Michelle's like, you know what? I'll find you a brother-in-law. Okay, get off my case. I'm working on it. Anyways, but you know what? Maybe she'll get her wish after all. Maybe, just maybe.
We'll see.
You'll have to stick around and find out. But, all right. So if you haven't read Hours We Regret, you're way behind and probably shouldn't have watched this video. But
Too many spoilers in this video. But maybe you're like my sister and you like all the spoilers. So
Yay, there you go.
So let us know. Are you a romantic or unromantic? And there is some people are like, hey, if you broke up, there's no chance ever again. Or there's others who are like, well, if you broke up, maybe you just had to grow up and mature and maybe you can get back together. So where do you stand on all of that?
Yeah. Do you enjoy a good romantic mystery. Oh, I love a good romantic mystery. That's my favorite. Like, murder mystery, that's fine. I'll put up with it. Romantic mystery, you don't know who they'll end up with? Yes, I'm there. Sign me up. In fact, I'm writing you one. You're welcome.
So hang on, because it's gonna be a ride.